Hello there, my beautiful Sagittarius signs. It's Rachel with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's video is all about you, Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius. I have my sun sign in Sagittarius, so this reading is just as much for you as it is for me. If something in this message happens to resonate, please make sure you smash that like button. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, I do that as well. I kind of specialize in trauma healing and understanding the psychology behind it and why we do certain things that we do. And I kind of integrate tarot as well because it's just a form of divination. So I try to access your energy intuitively and help guide you to align to your highest best self and your highest best path. And, obviously you're here for answers to whatever questions you're having, and hopefully you'll find some in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. I pull a traditional Celtic crossbred, which is usually 10 cards, but depending on the energy, I pull more. And when I was meditating on our energy, I was listening to Lana Del Rey's song called Cinnamon Girl, so that might be a significant um, song for you, or maybe some lyrics in that song might be significant, so you might want to check that out after this reading or during, however, if you feel guided to. But I usually put song titles in my YouTube video titles because that's how I tap in, and it's kind of also how I relate to the situation that's happening for you in your life and what's going on. But let's go ahead and dive into the tarot. The first card I have for you is kind of like, what's your current vibe, what's your energy at this moment, and you have the Six of Swords, which is a great card to have. It's like you're sailing from these like choppy waters into these calmer seas, and things are starting to kind of even out. Now, when I pulled a crossing card for your energy, I got the Six of Wands as well, which is great. So you have 2 6 cards, and 6 can be symbolic of like twin flame energy. So some of you might be going through some twin flame situations, but make sure you look up that angel number. Now, this crossing you though as your challenge here in your current vibe is like maybe you've had a history of being a little bit of a saboteur when it comes to your success. Sometimes we hold ourselves back because we're afraid of something. And I did pull a clarifier card on this just to see what it was. And when I had, the devil card came out, when I have this card, it tells me that like it's tied to your ego. Maybe you're a bit afraid to move forward. Maybe you're not sure what life looks like without a little bit of chaos and turmoil. Maybe that's what you're used to. And that sometimes we get comfortable where we like crave that the high highs and the low lows, and it's just it's almost like a toxic cycle of um, comfortability in a way, because if we've been raised in an environment in our younger years where we were used to some sort of traumatic experience, or maybe the patterns of abuse, which is usually a pretty cyclical pattern, we get trapped in this like mindset that is not very accurate, because it's almost tied to our sense of self-worth, where we like feel like we only deserve to be in the midst of chaos and trouble, and we have a hard time just sitting in peace or comfort. And I think that's what's happening for you at this time, Sagittarius. Now, the basis of this situation, what's going on is like you're trapped in your head and your thoughts about something about moving forward or walking away from things that don't serve you. It's leaving you like kind of almost in this like analysis paralysis vibe. That's what the Eight of Swords is about. It's like she is free to walk, her feet are free if she wants to move forward, but it's like in her mind she's trapped and she can't see the way. And when I pulled a card to clarify this, I had the Two of Swords, which is all about like you're not sure which choice to make, so you're not really making any choice, and it's kind of slowing you down, or you just can't really see the way forward and you're not sure where you're headed, and that's bringing a lot of anxiety. And anxiety is fear of the future, and regret is fear of the past. So you're definitely in this like anxious mode because you've probably been in a state of fight or flight for most of your life. And a lot of the times we don't really recognize it or see it until we get into this period of our lives where we're actually like calm and peaceful. But then it's almost like, especially if people have gone through a lot of trauma, it's almost like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I feel like that's your current vibe at this time. So it's just a very chest heavy, anxious thing. So if you've been having a lot of panic attacks or a lot of like hard shortness of breath or hard to breathe, that sort of energy, it's because you need to really like sit with yourself and calm and trust that things are aligning as they should, because I do see a lot of energy that's coming together that's going to make things very fast moving, and it's also going to make things like come to fruition in divine timing. So yeah, just keep that in mind, Sagittarius, if you're feeling really anxious. Now, the past energy I have for you is the Hermit. This is a card about doing shadow work and introspection. It's also a card of like self-reflection and getting yourself out of the darkness. This is like the Hermit's at the top of the mountain and has done all of the work and is really using that inner light, inner voice, inner knowing, that coming from the heart space energy to guide yourself forward onto a path that's going to help you align and attract people that are going to, you know, be the tribe, your soul tribe for you, that are going to want to see you succeed and to do well. Now, in your present energy, you also have like this Eight of Cups. So this is like walking away from things that no longer serve you. And again, that's tied to that Six of Swords as well in your current energy too. This is like, this is you choosing things that are going to be emotionally fulfilling and choosing things from a heart space energy. So this is a very positive card. I like to see this because it's like you're very sure of what it is you don't want, and that allows you to use your discernment and be able to pretty quickly make a choice of what's going to help you align and what's not. And for some of us, you know, it takes us a long time to learn the lesson of getting out of like a people pleaser state of mind into something where we can really see if it's in our best interest or not and choose to um, make that choice for ourselves without being pressured by anyone else. Now, in the near future, you have the Eight of Wands. This is a fast moving energy. This is also a card of like communication. So if you've been waiting for communication on something, perhaps a new opportunity or a job offer or, you know, some sort of um, invitation, I do feel like that's happening because the Page of Pentacles is usually all about something tangible, like it's basically planting a seed of something that's going to grow fruit in the 3D world. And this could be a career move, it could be a promotion, it could be an investment opportunity or something along those lines. Pentacles usually have to do with career, money, family, finance, so it has something to do with that. So you might be moving houses or apartments or something as well, but I do feel like you're going to be hearing something about that soon, and it's going to be an opportunity to start something new. And I do feel like that's what's necessary for you at this time, because you're leaving this old mindset, this old sort of lifestyle, and you're moving forward into something that's going to bring a lot of fulfillment for you. Now, in your power in the situation, you have the Tower, which is very interesting. So the Tower is usually not like a great card to pull for a tarot reading. It's a challenging card. So right now you're being challenged at this time to see if you're really going to um, put your money where your mouth is, essentially. And the Tower is all about letting something collapse that wasn't meant for you, and in order to move on. So it's like sometimes we build um, houses on a foundation of sand, but we really think we're building it out of concrete, which I know sounds like a silly metaphor in a way, but it's like we thought we were doing the right thing when we were, you know, pouring this foundation, but then little did we know that it was actually a foundation that was faulty and had crack lines in it, and it wasn't going to last or be able to withhold, you know, the earthquake that life sometimes brings around to us, and as a lesson. And I feel like this tower is collapsing for you at this time, which is causing chaos and change and shifting. However, I pulled clarifiers for this because I wanted to see, you know, what this was in regards to. The world is like a karmic card. So this is like a karmic lesson you had to go through, you had to learn. But the challenge here was to like, can you keep an open heart? Can you keep an open mind? That's kind of what the Six of Pentacles is. Can you balance out your karma? Can you still maintain good vibes and good intentions towards other people who maybe didn't have your best interest in mind? You know, can you see through the lens of love from their perspective, or understand where it is they were coming from, and be able to find forgiveness, you know, not only for maybe them but for yourself. And forgiveness doesn't mean you forget anything, it just merely allows you to like move on. So, and you don't, you know, I don't want to say like forgive everybody, like that's not what I'm here to do. Like you have to decide who it is you're able to forgive and whatever. But forgiveness can usually only be found through understanding. So if you can understand where someone's coming from, then usually you can say like, oh, I get what that person did. I get why. Is it something I would have done? Absolutely not. But I do see where they felt like they had no other option, or where they felt like that would be a good solution for them. And that's kind of tied to radical acceptance. It doesn't mean that it was okay, but it's like you're fully able and emotionally aware and intelligent enough to understand what happened, why it happened, and how somebody maybe was reactive instead of responsive. So, as you're healing from traumas and things like that, Sagittarius, you really want to be responsive when it comes to situations that life throws at you, because when you're reactive, usually it's being triggered and coming from a place of childish behavior. Now, there's a real fine line between having childish tendencies and being childlike. Childlike is kind of the healthy way of tapping into our inner child. It's like the wondrous, curious vibe that we get, like, when you're not sure how something works or you want to understand something. But being childish is kind of like the petty ego, unhealed wounds that are being triggered. So you just have to make sure you're discerning which is what's worth it to you. So, yeah, anyways. The next card I have is, how is this affecting people around you? You have the Ten of Wands here. This is all about like baggage from the past. So maybe people feel like you're carrying a lot of burdens. But I pulled a clarifier for this as well, just to understand a little bit better. The King of Swords is all about speaking your truth and being very calculating and meticulous when it comes to something. So I do feel like whatever baggage from the past is, like, you're not letting people slide or get one over on you anymore. You're really taking accountability for yourself, and you're trying to push that accountability back onto someone else. And I do feel like it's going to bring um, karmic justice to a situation, because you're speaking your truth and you're standing up for yourself, which is very vital at this time. Especially because in your hopes and fears, you have the Seven of Wands. This is all about your belief system, your values. This is standing up for your ethics and morality, even when it comes to a work situation or a love relationship or friendship, whatever it is. This is all about standing up for yourself and doing the right thing that you know is right and your soul knows is right, and having pure intentions. And when you come from a place of loving, pure intention, you're hard to mess with, because people can't fight with the highest vibrational state, and truth is the highest vibrational frequency, right next to love. So if you're in the state of love and truth, you're going to uh, attract good and bad, but you're going to be beyond powerful. So it's just a very positive card for you. Now, the next two cards I have were the outcome. The Knight of Wands came out first, and then I pulled a clarifier here with the Moon. The Knight of Wands is all about a fast moving energy, a fast offer, or an opportunity coming in. For some of you, it might be even like a love interest coming in. Um, but this is like a quick, fiery, passionate card of lust. So be cautious when it comes to that, because with the Moon card, there may be something that you're not seeing, or there's an illusion, or someone's wearing a mask that might be portraying them in a light that they're not really able to be in. So make sure you're using discernment, and not only listening to what people say, but like watching their actions. Because if you're empathic and you're watching this, chances are, empathic people tend to trust the words of others, because that's kind of how we function. Like, we say what we mean what we say. And a lot of people, unfortunately, do not live by their word. They live by action, and sometimes they will cover up, or, try to make themselves appear better than they are. So just be cautious there. But I do feel like the lunar cycles at this time are definitely affecting you. Where today, when I'm doing this recording, um, there's a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening, and that's tied to our emotions. And it's just a very emotional time period for you. Now, your subconscious energy that I have for you, Sagittarius, and I just saw 1414 on the clock there, so make sure you check out that number, is the Four of Wands. This is about celebration and commitment and engagement. So if you are maybe gonna get engaged, or maybe you're just committing to yourself, how you want to be treated and how you want to stand up for yourself, and you're just making this really um, I don't know, like this pact with yourself that's going to help you align in the future for when, these opportunities come, for when this career move happens, and you'll be ready to stand up for your belief system and your values and your morals and your ethics, and you'll do it like unapologetically. So if you've been a people pleaser in the past and people have walked all over you, I don't feel like that's going to happen for you anymore, Sag, because you've kind of grown out of that old mindset and it wasn't serving you, and it really never has. But I do feel like you're aware enough to see it now. Now, the next card I have is Blue Moon. It says believe in the impossible. I believe our Blue Moon was in August in Aquarius, if I'm correct. So there might be something about Aquarian energy. I personally have Aquarius in my ascending rising sign, so that's very relevant for me. And then the oracle card I have for you is new life. So you're definitely shedding old skin here, and you're moving into this new chapter. And the world is also not only a card of karma, it's about closing cycles. So you've learned the lesson and you're moving forward, and that's a great thing to do. So I have a bunch more oracle cards that I'm going to pull, but again, if this message is resonating for you, Sagittarius, please smash that like button. It helps my channel grow. And if you're interested in a personalized reading, please feel free to reach out and email me or DM me. So this one says, my future is full of light, which I already kind of got a sense of that because of the positive Four of Wands, which is all about celebration too. And yeah, just a lot of good things coming because you're keeping your heart space open despite all of the hardship that you've gone through. Now you also have Lotus, which is very much so tied to the Hermit card. It says move from darkness into the light like a lotus. And I do feel like you're really letting your inner light guide you. And that's very wise because a lot of people are driven by their ego mind, and they don't lead from their heart space, and it causes a lot of issues for them. And they typically, when you're driven by your ego, you're not learning a lesson because you're too wound up in getting lost of the perception of what people think of you. Wow. Okay. You also have the card of recovery, which is tied to your crown chakra. If you're not sure what your crown chakra is, make sure you check out my video on chakras. It's basically the chakra that's right above your heads, kind of hovering there. Um, this is all about connecting with your higher self and your spirit guides and your inner guidance and that inner knowing, and connecting to the ether or the quantum realm. And this is all scientific fact. This is scientifically proven. There's been studies. So everything I'm saying is based in science as well. Now, this one is Anima Mundi. This is kind of like your ego, your sense of self, your personality traits. That's kind of how I think of this card. It's like the many facets that make you you. And I do feel like you're trying to decide what's worth keeping and what's worth kind of like getting rid of when it comes to your personality traits or your habits. And that can be just tied to like maybe defense mechanisms that you had in place before that you would use, or the saboteur kind of energy that I talked about earlier. I do feel like you're trying to eliminate that part of yourself that maybe didn't feel worthy or good enough to be successful. Because a lot of the times when we're raised in childhood trauma, or we're raised in trauma, or we've been in relationships where a partner maybe creates this weird codependency, or we have participated in creating that codependency as well since we're in the relationship, we find ourselves kind of being chipped away a little bit. It's kind of like if you think about a dog that's chained to a tree. If you just take away one link at a time, the dog doesn't really notice. But pretty soon, that dog's like tied to the tree to its neck, and it's really uncomfortable. And sometimes in relationships and even in our childhood experiences, we chip away at parts of ourselves in order to keep the peace or in order to pacify someone else to meet their needs, and we end up losing ourselves in that. So that card to me is like you're trying to find the facets of yourself that are worth keeping and that you want to work on. Now, the next card I have is from my Power of Love deck. It says expression. You are ready to manifest your thoughts and transform them into acts of love. And that could be that wand energy, because wands are also tied to creativity. So this Knight of Wands doesn't have to be like a love interest. It could also be like you're going to pursue your passion. You're going to throw yourself to your craft pretty quickly here. and you may not know what you're doing because of that moon card. Like you're not sure how to dive into it, but you're going to take that first step anyways. And that's very brave. It's very courageous to do that. And, knights are very brave and courageous, and that's what makes them, um, memorable. So that's maybe the energy that you're stepping into as well as you're on this new life path, this new journey. Now, this card is from my Third Eye Intuition deck. It says practice. Take your time to reflect on a situation you want answers about, and where does your intuition lead you? And is there an object in the room or a space giving you an answer? Look out for words, symbols, or imagery. Now, sometimes if you are in alignment or you need help from your guides or you're really tapped into your crown chakra, you might get visual flashes. You might be seeing a lot of angel numbers like 1111 or 333 or something along those lines. So that might be significant for you to just, those are just simple reminders that like you're on the right path. Those are just synchronicities telling you like, this is confirmation for something. So just use discernment there. And meditation, I find, is a nice way to tap into your abilities because you're quieting the mind, and it can kind of clear your energy where you can connect to your higher self in the higher dimensions easier. Now this is from my I Ching deck. Again, another six. So you have the Six of Swords, the Six of Wands, and this six card here. So if you've been seeing that a lot lately, that's just a confirmation. And you also have two eights as well, because you have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords. And then everything else, and you have the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, lots of sixes. And this one says arguing. There is truth and confidence blocked. Vigilant and centered, good fortune, ending pitfall, fruitful to see great people, and fruitless to cross the great river. Things are not as they should be, so you argue for what you need, sustenance to be believed, or for justice. But in defiant frustration, the creative flow is blocked. So open your heart to the potential for change and higher perspective. Consult with someone wiser or outside the conflict. And what are you arguing for? If you can't win this one, what else can you do? Again, this is standing up for your belief systems and your values, and also being in this like King of Swords energy. So people may not see eye to eye with you, and that's okay. But you also have to be able and willing to like radically accept like they may never see your perspective, and you have to know when to walk away, Sagittarius. And I do feel like you're learning how to do that. And that's leading to this like road to recovery, because your connection spiritually is tied to your healing. And that's totally what's taking place for you at this time. And that's what's allowing you to go from this like choppy waters into these calmer seas. So it's just overall a great energy, but you're kind of like the lotus here. You're in the process of growth and development, and you're still a little bit covered in mud, but it is going to lighten up, and you're going to feel a little bit of relief shortly. So, because you have this fast moving energy and things are shifting pretty quickly here. So, overall, great energy for you, Sagittarius. Again, I hope this video helped. If it did, please smash that like button. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time.